It's August 2025, and something is wrong in Las Vegas. Terribly wrong. You can feel it in the air. It's not the heat. The heat is always there. It's the quiet. The Las Vegas Strip, a place famous for noise, for chaos, for the constant ding-ding-ding of slot machines and the roar of 1,000 parties at once, is quiet. The sidewalks, usually so packed you can barely walk, now have room to breathe. Too much room. You can hear your own footsteps, which in Vegas is just unnatural. It's like hearing silence in the middle of a rock concert. So who is this missing customer? Who is so important that their absence can bring a city like Las Vegas to its knees? It's not the high rollers from Macau, it's not the spring breakers from California, it's Canada. Yes, Canada. Polite, hockey-loving, maple syrup enthusiasts. They were more than just friendly neighbors. They were the secret ingredient in the Las Vegas recipe for success. For years, one of the largest, most consistent groups of international visitors to the US, especially Las Vegas. They loved it here. Think about it. So why? Why did an entire country, known for being reasonable and level-headed, suddenly decide to ghost America? This wasn't a random decision. It was a boycott. It started as a grassroots movement on social media. People were angry, they decided to vote with their wallets, or more accurately, with their passports. And then, the Canadian government stepped in. This is what turned a grassroots movement into an official crisis for the US.
Ottawa issued a travel advisory.
The government announced new funding, tax incentives to boost domestic tourism, effectively subsidizing the boycott. Let's talk numbers, because, feelings are important, but money is what makes Las Vegas run. According to the U.S. Travel Association, the Canadian tourism boycott is on track to cost the United States economy over $12.5 billion this year alone. Of that multi-billion-dollar loss, experts estimate that over $4 billion of it is being sucked directly out of the Las Vegas economy. $4 billion. Think of all the places that money would have gone. Hotel rooms, meals, show tickets, taxi rides, and it would have been gambled on the casino floor. That money is the lifeblood of this city. It pays salaries. It funds public services through taxes. It keeps the lights on, both literally and figuratively. It's a chain reaction. When tourists stop coming, businesses suffer. When businesses suffer, they lay off workers. When workers lose their jobs, they can't spend money, and the whole local economy begins to seize up. Now, faced with the sudden disappearance of one of its largest and most reliable customer bases, the city is scrambling. The big numbers are shocking, but, honestly, the real story is found on the ground in the voices of the small business owners who are watching their livelihoods disappear.
It's like a ghost town, she says, gesturing to her empty pews. The Canadians, they loved this stuff. They loved the fun, the kitsch. We used to do 10, 15 weddings a week for couples from Alberta and Ontario. This month, we've done 2, total.
Down the street, David runs a business that rents out exotic cars.
My best customers were the Canadians, he explains, polishing the hood of a Lamborghini that hasn't been rented in days.
They'd come for a bachelor party or a guy's trip and want to drive a Ferrari for a day.
Now, my phone doesn't ring. I've had to sell 2 of my cars already just to cover my insurance costs. It's heartbreaking.
These stories are everywhere.
The owner of a breakfast spot near the convention center talks about how the Canadian trade show attendees were his morning rush.
A musician who used to play in a lounge band at an off-strip casino says his gig was canceled due to budget cuts.
These aren't just anecdotes, they are symptoms of a city in distress. The impact of this tourism crash doesn't stop at the city limits of Las Vegas. It ripples outward, affecting the entire United States tourism industry and beyond. The airline industry is taking a major hit. Carriers that once operated dozens of daily flights between Canadian cities and U.S. destinations have been forced to slash their schedules. This means fewer flights, which in turn leads to layoffs for pilots, flight attendants, and ground crews. The rental car industry, the hotel supply companies, the food service distributors, all of them are part of a complex chain that is being disrupted. This situation also sends a dangerous message to the rest of the world. The Canadian boycott is being watched closely by other countries. It demonstrates that tourism can be used as a powerful tool of political leverage. This could have long-term consequences, making the United States a less reliable or attractive destination for international investment in the tourism sector. What makes this situation so difficult to solve is that it has moved beyond a simple consumer trend. This is now a full-blown diplomatic issue, with both governments digging in their heels. The official support from the Canadian government has given the boycott an unprecedented level of power and endurance. When a government actively encourages its citizens to vacation at home and backs it up with financial incentives, it changes the game entirely. The United States government has been slow to react. At first, the boycott was dismissed as a minor issue, a temporary blip that would soon pass. But as the economic damage mounted, officials in Washington began to take notice. The problem is, the political climate that sparked the boycott in the first place hasn't changed. This creates a frustrating dilemma for cities like Las Vegas. The mayor of Las Vegas can't negotiate international trade policy. The CEO of a major casino can't undo a diplomatic spat. They are hostages in a larger political conflict. They need a political solution, but politics seems to be the one thing getting in the way. In the end, this isn't just a story about politics or economics. It's a story about people. It's about the thousands of individuals in Las Vegas whose lives have been turned upside down. It's about the housekeeper who is struggling to feed her family on reduced hours. It's about the small business owner who poured his life savings into a dream that is now fading. It's about the performer who has spent years perfecting her craft, only to play to an empty room. This city, for all its flaws and fantasies, is a place where millions of people work hard to build a life. They are dealers, chefs, electricians, florists, drivers, and entertainers. They are the engine that makes the whole spectacular machine run. And right now, that engine is sputtering. The silence on the Las Vegas Strip should be a warning to all of us. It shows how quickly things can change. It shows how interconnected our world is, and how fragile the systems we rely on can be. A dispute between governments can have devastating consequences for ordinary people who are just trying to get by. We can't afford to ignore the stories of people like Maria and David because their stories are the story of Las Vegas in 2025. So, the next time you think of Las Vegas, don't just picture the bright lights and the big shows, picture the quiet hallways, picture the empty chairs, and most importantly, picture the people who are waiting for the crowds to return. This is more than just a bad year for tourism, it's a city in crisis, a city filled with people whose futures are uncertain. And caring about what happens to them isn't just about caring about Las Vegas, it's about caring about the human consequences of a world where friendship can be forgotten and doors can be closed.